Now, I want you to take a look at this busty, blonde vision of feminine, yet strong beauty. Vivian, from the game Sword of the Vagrant. Sword of the Vagrant is brought to you by Ortega Games, a video game developer headquartered in Beijing, China. Looking at this blonde, delectable vision of warrior goddess loveliness, it's clear that OTK Games understood the assignment and are more than willing and even happy to provide quality entertainment to gamers who are perfectly open to playing games with female leads, but are repelled by the monstrosities passed off as women by Western developers. If you... Alright, okay, that's enough of that.
But you know I'm all the way out there, I don't get that.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Saladino.
Badass, strong, like, and they're always like coming into a room and like they know everything, and it's like, oh, that's a strong woman. It's like, I don't want to watch that. I'm not like that. Like, I love complicated women, and I want to play evil women, and you know, that messiness is like, that's what I feel like I try to bring that into Catherine, because she's not always right all the time. You
also,
know?
when you're watching a project, you want to feel like the characters are representatives that you're seeing of yourself on screen are relatable or attainable. And sometimes when you're constantly walking and there's cars blowing up in the background and things like that, it's cool and it's awesome. It looks like beautiful, but I don't know anything about her. So it's hard to develop some sort of admiration or connection with women when they're written very two-dimensional and don't really give you enough.
To be a strong woman, you have to be this. To be, you know, it's like, again, putting us into a box again.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Okay, sure.
So I really don't want to add to the dog pile of Rachel Zegler. I mean, you know, she can do bad all by herself. But, you know, she's become something of the internet's dumpster of late, and I don't want to, because it's, you know, it's different people individually online that's become this mass wave of people criticizing her and getting on her for her stupid ass interviews and clips and, you know, her dumb takes on the original Snow White and the, you know, the talking points she parrots. This whole thing about, you know, the prince doesn't save her. Now, Gal Gadot said that, but, you know, she's been running with this whole idea that the prince, you know, Prince Charming is a stalker and it's not about her finding true love. Like, women don't care about love. I bet you in her own real life, Rachel Zegler wants love, but she's just listening to all the goofballs. She's, you know, the echo chamber, and everybody has echo chambers. I've been trying my best to try to step back lately, you know, just to be sure that I'm not so black-pilled that I can't. Well, I always do my best to point out when I realize I might be black-pilled about certain topics. Because my whole thing is, I don't have a problem with social justice. I'm not anti-social justice. I'm anti-social justice warrior. I have a problem with social justice warriors and what they define as social justice. You know, making ugly women characters is not social justice. You know, affirming imaginary women's insecurities by creating fat, ugly characters and creating and forcing men to accept ugly women video game characters and deglamorizing and desexualizing female heroines just to make, you know, imaginary fat women out there feel better about themselves. That's not social justice. That's narcissism. So my whole thing is that, yeah, when I'm anti-SJW, I'm like, oh, they're putting black people and everything. I'm black. I don't care about that. I don't care, or I have a problem with it, rather, when they put, you know, a black woman and make her the queen of fucking England, or make her Cleopatra, or they just race swap characters just because we don't want to create a new black character. We're just going to steal one that, you know, means more to white
fans, and then make that person black. That's what I have a problem with, and that's why I try not to be like, I watch all these YouTube videos. We're all ranting and raving about race swaps and gender swaps, but I don't think. I'm a part of it, so who knows? But I don't think it's an echo chamber of we're explicitly stating what our problems are when it comes to a lot of these projects, like Snow White, and the fact that they've cast Rachel Zegler, a brown woman. I don't know if she's Latina, what she is exactly, but this brown woman to be Snow goddamn White, and she's running around acting as if she's God's gift to social justice simply because she's been cast in this role that she's decided, along with the writers and the producers, everything. The original wasn't any good. It was a problem, despite the fact that it's propped up Disney. It's the first major classic that Disney produced. Despite all of that, she knows better, and she's changing the world for the better, because they cast her to be Snow White in a film that doesn't even have 7 dwarves.
So a lot of the things at a very base level that they supposedly want, more diversity and inclusion, entertainment, that kind of thing. If it's done naturally and it's actual part of the original creator's intention and has nothing to do with, virtue signaling, then I'm fine with that. But I also want to make sure that, I don't like the whole Barbie thing. I didn't watch the film. I actually haven't watched reviews of it. Personally, there was one girl or one channel, it was an MJ Tanner. Before it came out, she was concerned about the feminist stuff, and she was making good points. And a lot of people don't seem to care. At least it's a big hit. I don't think it has anything to do really with the feminism. I mean, if the Mattel makes more films like Barbie that has this supposed feminist message, I don't know to what extent it really is. I know apparently Ken, wants to do his own thing, but whatever. So my thing is, I think a big part of the success is that that's what women are really interested in. If you're going to do feminist stuff to any degree, do it where you have women dressing up in nice dresses and you have Ken, looking like Ryan Gosling, and no one is like, you don't see men complaining about Ken being objectified and showing his pecs and abs or whatever. But when women get involved in men's entertainment and talk about men's entertainment, they always act as if we're hurting them somehow because of what we are interested in. But men, and all the men that I've seen complain about Barbie, they've complained about this, turning Barbie into a feminist icon, which MJ Tanner, she had made good points about it in her video, where the video before, I actually need to watch her review to see what she actually finally thought of the film itself. But she made great points about the fact that since Barbie, when it first came out, was this blonde, rich, white woman, there have been feminists constantly trying to push the toy line into representing all women. They turned her into a feminist icon the way that they took She-Hulk, Disney, the MCU, and they turned She-Hulk into a feminist icon when, that's not really the point. Like, they're not allowing women or girls to fantasize, they just put their political message down on them. And that's fine. Like I said, the film's doing really well. I think it has a lot more to do with the aesthetic and with Ryan Gosling. But whatever. I feel like if you want to do this SJW shit, do it for women. Like, women are not going to go see Charlie's Angels, if it's this feminist message. They're not going to watch the Marvels if it's this feminist message. And I think that's funny too. I've been busy, so I haven't really been seeing a lot of YouTube videos lately, but I watch a lot of Kyle, which is why I was doing that impersonation. It's funny because one of the reasons why I don't want to pile on Rachel Zegler is because he's been tearing her, well, whatever, he's been ripping her a new one, put it that way. So he's done enough, but and calling her out on her bullshit. But anyway, so I haven't been really watching a lot of YouTube videos. I've been seeing the headlines and the headlines, the titles, the thumbnails. Apparently, they are trying to tie the Marvels into Barbie somehow. Like I was saying, maybe they could try to do that. Except, women don't care about superheroes like that. They'll watch them if their boyfriends watch them. They'll watch them if they're popular in media. But MCU is not popular anymore, so they're not going to go see the Marvels. So it's just funny. Men who are complaining about Barbie are complaining about like the political stuff. And it's one of those things where I don't think it's a problem for men to complain about that, because women do it when all it is obvious, just showing women looking sexy. So women, feminists will get involved in male entertainment like video games and superhero comics and stuff like that, and complain just about why these women are attractive. But there's this attitude against people criticizing Barbie. Well, the audience for it seems to be fine with it. It's like, who gives a shit? That's not the point. Fine, it's for women. But there's still, I mean, if women can get involved in male entertainment and complain about the shit that we like, men can do it too. You know, I mean, they don't expect to make billions of dollars off of just women. They couldn't. You know, women have been dragging their boyfriends and husbands and stuff to see it too. So if you got to sit there and put up with that shit, you know. Now again, I haven't seen the movie. Talking about Barbie, I've heard different things from different people. You know, just little sound bites from people who said, actually, it's not as bad as it's being made out to be. And then other people are saying, no, it is as bad as it's being made out to be. But ultimately, I don't care. If that shit is confined to what women like, that's fine. It's when it spills over into our entertainment, male entertainment, is when it's a problem. But it's funny to see, getting back to Zegler, like I said, I don't want to pile on her or whatever, but it's funny to see how she's been working on this film. So who knows how much people talk about this on the set, but it's understood with her being whatever she is. You know, she's a brown skinned girl. She ain't white. She ain't Snow White. But all this time working on the film and this whole sense of, you know, what the film was about, she's, you know, pushing this out because that's what the film is about to her, and it's what the message is for Disney. So they've been talking about, they're going to have crisis talks to get her to shut up so that she doesn't tank the film. But it's like, no, this is the message you idiots put in the film. You decided to make a Snow White film with a brown skinned girl with magical creatures instead of dwarves, and now we're supposed to believe that Disney is going to try to have crisis talks to shut her up so that she doesn't tank the film. The film's already tanked. As soon as they cast her, like the first tweet from her after she was cast was, "I'm not going to bleach my skin." And it's like, you're not supposed to be Snow White. Why call her Snow White? But again, we always talk about this. It does not matter to SJWs. They don't care about the source material. They don't care if any of it makes sense. This is not entertainment to them, which is why they hate, video games with jiggle physics and stuff, because they don't want people being entertained. And when I say people, they really just don't want straight white men to be entertained. They don't care. And they just figure everybody else will just go along with the bullshit that they put out there. So for them, like, the message is more important than apparently money. I don't understand. Like, at this point, with the reaction to those leaks of the magical creatures or whatever, those stand-ins, you would think someone with some sense would pull the plug on the project. And maybe they think people will go see the film because they know it's going to be a train wreck. So maybe they're doing that thing. Was it Sony who put out Morbius? And then they put it out again after they memed, the Morbin time shit. Maybe at this point, they're not going to pull the plug because they're saying, well, at least we've got publicity on it. And all publicity is good no matter how bad it is. I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think it's going to be successful. The Marvels is not going to be successful. They should definitely pull that. But I don't know. I don't really want to pile on Zegler. Like I said, it was just funny to me. She's not saying anything different than most actors and actresses when they talk about projects that they've appropriated. When they talk about, fandom, like, you see it in The Witcher. Obviously, you see it in what the MCU has become, since Phase 4. You see it in Star Wars, of course. That's in Indiana Jones. So it's, I brought up Jenna Ortega, because it's funny to me that she's one of the few young actresses who push back against, the disrespect, the canon and that kind of thing. Like the way that she rewrote lines for Wednesday, and just the way she talked about in that clip with Elle Fanning. It's just, it's Ortega is the actual outlier, for the most part. Older actresses who are used to acting in complex roles, they'll push back against it. The only problem is, for whatever reason, there's so many people, like sleeper agents, working at these different companies, working at Disney, just constantly, it must be that most of them, it's not like they've looked at the failures and said, well, if we keep going, it'll finally be successful. People will finally realize it. It seems like these people are like, yes, keep going. We're going to destroy Disney, and Disney's allowing it. So I don't know. But like I said, so I just called this Jenna Ortega as better than Rachel Zegler, simply because I just noticed I look at someone like Ortega, and I'm always impressed whenever I see her in an interview or whatever. And I look at Rachel Zegler, and I've only seen her a couple of times now, and I don't get why she's running her mouth so much and being so belligerent, because it's like, you're not going to turn the tide. I mean, I guess she's so used to the echo chamber. She thinks that everybody is going to back her up. But it looks like this shit is dying, and it's only being propped up by, by egotistical, narcissistic assholes who'd rather sink with the ship than course correct.
Get my
father.
But why? I don't understand it.
Wicked people have wicked ways, Snow White.
Yes, I know that's true, but why does she want to kill me?
Because she is wicked.
She's probably just jealous. That's a stupid assumption, Bubba.
Hey, stop it, both of you! Stop it!